In this module, you will learn about transactions in a bank. A bank is a financial institution where you deposit money for security, withdraw when you need it, and can borrow money at low interest rates. Let's see what is meant by transaction. Transaction means depositing or withdrawing money, or transferring money from one place to another. Let's see some transactions in detail. The term deposit means to keep something in the safe custody of someone. To deposit money in a particular bank, you have to hold an account in that bank. There are many types of accounts, such as savings bank account, current account, fixed deposit or term deposit account, recurring deposit account, and credit card account. What account a customer needs depends on the purpose of the account and his saving capacity. A savings bank account is meant for encouraging the habit of saving money. The money deposited in this account can be withdrawn whenever needed. Middle-class people can easily open an account with just 500 rupees and deposit money into it and withdraw when needed. However, there is a limit on the number of withdrawals that you can make every 6 months. The bank pays interest at a rate of 3.5% per annum on the balance, calculated monthly or half-yearly. A current account is meant for huge frequent transactions by businessmen. Deposits and withdrawals can be made whenever required. Businessmen, companies and institutions open this type of account. They can deposit and withdraw money to and from the account any number of times. The bank does not pay any interest on a current account. On the contrary, it collects charges for maintaining the account. In a fixed deposit or term deposit account, once you deposit money for a specified period, you cannot withdraw it until the period is over. However, if you need the money before the period is over, you can take a loan of up to 90% of the amount deposited at an interest rate 1% more than what the fixed deposit earns. The rate of interest on this account is more than that on a savings account and is computed quarterly, half-yearly or annually. A recurring deposit account is an account into which a specific amount is paid every month for a fixed period of time, usually in multiples of 3 months, but up to a maximum of 10 years. The amount is paid back along with the accumulated interest at the end of the period. Thus, deposit occurs every month, and withdrawals is not possible until the period ends. Banks provide a credit card to a person with a regular income above a certain minimum. The cardholder can use it as and when he wants for making purchases at shops and for online payments, subject to a limit. They can also withdraw money from an ATM, subject to a limit. Let's see the different ways in which you can deposit money into an account. You can deposit money by a pay-in slip in cash and by a check. To deposit money in cash by a pay-in slip, you have to fill it up. It consists of different columns like date, account number, name, branch, amount to be deposited, and the depositor's signature, besides a description of the denomination and number of the currency notes. An account payee check or crossed check is a check that has to be deposited into the account of the person whose name is on the check. The check, along with a pay-in slip bearing details like date, account number, branch, amount, description of the check, and depositor's signature, is to be handed over at the branch where the person holds the account. Description of the check includes check number, bank and branch drawn on, and amount. Let's learn about the different ways to make withdrawals. Taking out some amount from what you have deposited is known as a withdrawal. You can withdraw money from your bank account by filling up a withdrawal form or by a self-check or by an ATM card. You have to fill up a form called a withdrawal form to withdraw money from your account. It consists of columns like date, account number, name, branch, amount to be withdrawn in words and figures, and your signature. Note that you have to go to the bank yourself to withdraw money by a withdrawal form and have to give the passbook along with the withdrawal form. A bank provides a checkbook to account holders. When you want to withdraw money, you have to fill up a check. You have to write self after pay in the check, write the amount that has to be withdrawn in words and figures, and sign the check. Note that a self-check can be encashed by anybody, so be careful not to lose a signed self-check. Another way of withdrawing money from your account without going to the bank is using an ATM card provided by the bank. You can withdraw money with the ATM card from your account from an ATM center. ATM stands for Automated Teller Machine. It is a machine that automatically dispenses cash. Note that an ATM card is different from a debit card. A debit card is used to make purchases at a shop without actually handling cash. The amount is deducted from your account. Nowadays, banks issue ATM-cum-debit cards, so you can use the same card either to withdraw cash or to make purchases. Let's learn about the different ways to transfer money from one place to another. Money can be transferred by demand draft, posting a check through courier, or online transfer. A demand draft is the safest method to transfer money. It's a check issued by a bank after receiving in cash the amount mentioned on it. It is an order for branch of a bank to another branch of the same bank to pay the amount mentioned. A bank draft can be deposited in an account in any bank. Notice that nowadays, most examination and application fees are paid by demand drafts. You can also transfer money by sending an account payee check through courier or post. The person receiving the money can deposit the check in their account. Money can be transferred online too. This can be done in 3 ways: through bank, through NEFT or RTGS, and over the internet. You can transfer money through a branch of a bank to any other branch of the same bank by paying the amount in cash. You have to fill up a slip mentioning the name, account number, branch name, and branch code of the person to whom you want to transfer the money. Notice that you cannot transfer money from one bank to another. You can transfer money from one bank to any account in any other bank through NEFT or RTGS. NEFT stands for National Electronic Funds Transfer and RTGS stands for Real-Time Gross Settlement. The difference is that in NEFT, money is transferred every hour, while in RTGS, it is transferred immediately. While there is no minimum or maximum limit for NEFT, it is Rs 2 lakh for RTGS. This can be done either at a bank branch or over the internet. Money can also be transferred from one bank to another through online banking. If you have a username and password for internet banking facility, you can check all your account details and transfer money from your account to any account in any branch of any bank. Let's see the various services provided by a bank. Banks accept deposits of money, provide security, and pay interest. Banks provide loans for different purposes at low interest rates against collateral like property or gold. Banks help transfer money from one place to another through drafts, checks, or online transfer. Banks facilitate commerce by receiving payments against bills for utility services such as electricity, water supply, and telephone. In this module, you will learn about savings bank accounts. You will also learn to calculate interest on deposits in a savings bank account. Banks are institutions that render a variety of financial services, like receiving deposits, lending money, etc. Banks pay interest at a certain rate on the deposits received from customers. The money deposited by a customer can be withdrawn from the bank whenever they require. Banks also lend money to customers for which they collect interest. To deposit money in a bank, an account has to be opened. The different types of accounts in a bank in which money can be deposited are a savings bank account, a current bank account, a term or fixed deposit account, and a recurring or cumulative deposit account. Let's learn about savings bank accounts. The most common of all the accounts is the savings bank account, as there is no limit on the amount of money that can be deposited and withdrawn. The main objective of this type of account is to save earnings. This account can be opened by an individual or jointly by two or more individuals by applying in a prescribed application form that is available with the bank. The person who wants to open an account is required to give proofs of address and identity, a minimum amount as prescribed by the bank, along with specimen signatures. These signatures are kept in the safe custody of the bank and are checked whenever money is withdrawn. The person opening an account is called an account holder. Once a savings bank account has been opened, a unique account number is given to the account holder. The account holder needs to mention this account number for all the transactions that he makes with the bank. The bank gives an account holder a book containing the details of the deposits, withdrawals, and balance in his account. This is called a passbook. The general form of a page of a passbook is as shown. Depositing money into the account or withdrawing money from the account means operating the savings bank account. Let's begin by learning how to deposit money in an account. To deposit money into an account, the account holder needs to fill a pay-in slip. The slip has two parts, a foil and a counterfoil, in which details like the account holder's name, account number, date, and amount to be deposited are filled in and duly signed by the depositor. An account holder has to fill up this form and give it to the cashier along with the money to be deposited. The cashier puts the seal and his signature on both the parts. The counterfoil is returned to the customer as a receipt, and the foil is kept in the bank's records. The amount deposited is credited into the customer's account, and an entry is made in the passbook accordingly. Getting entries of the transactions in an account made into the passbook is called updating the passbook. An account holder can also deposit money using checks that are given by another person or organization in his or her name. Now, let's learn how to withdraw money from an account. Money from an account can be withdrawn by the account holder either by withdrawal form or a check. The general format of a withdrawal form and a check is as shown. When an account holder wishes to withdraw money himself or herself by check, the name of the payee is written as self. After filling the details in the check, it is given to a bank official. After verification of the account holder's signature and the balance in the account holder gets the money from the cash counter. An account holder is given a checkbook with the help of which he can withdraw money from his account. Nowadays, of course, an account holder can withdraw money also from an ATM, automated teller machine, with the help of an ATM card. An ATM machine is a machine that has cash inside. The cash is dispensed when an account holder inserts his ATM card into the slot on the machine and enters a secret 4-digit code called the PIN number and the amount they wish to withdraw. A PIN number is like a password to operate the account. Some banks also accept deposits of cash and checks through their ATMs. If the word bearer printed on the check is not crossed out, then the check is said to be a bearer check. A bearer check can be encashed by anyone. If the word bearer on the check is crossed out, then the check becomes an order check. The payment of an order check is made only to the person in whose name the check has been issued. If the words ACP or P's account only are written between two parallel lines on the top left corner of the check, it is called a cross check. Such a check ensures that the amount is deposited only in the account of the person in whose name the check has been issued. The bank pays simple interest on the money deposited in a savings bank account. The interest is paid on the minimum balance in the account between the 10th and the last day of the month. Take a look at this page of the passbook. Let's calculate the interest paid by the bank at 5% per annum. If the account holder closes the account on the 15th of December, first, we will calculate the principal on which the interest is paid. Principal is the sum of the minimum balance of all the months from the 10th day and the last day of every month for which the interest is to be paid. The minimum balance is calculated in the nearest multiple of 10. The minimum balance for the month of April is 5,500 rupees, which is a multiple of 10. Since there is no transaction in the month of May, the minimum balance for the month of May is the same as that for the month of April. In the month of June, the minimum balance is 7,020 rupees. Now, let's find the minimum balance for the month of July. On the 10th of July, the balance is 7,024 rupees and 25 paisa, and the balance at the end of the month is 4,444 rupees and 60 paisa. The minimum of these two is 4,444 rupees and 60 paisa, and so on. Rounding off to the nearest 10, we get 4,440 rupees. This way, we can calculate the minimum balance for every month. Note that the minimum balance in the month of December is 0 rupees since the account is closed on the 15th of the month. The sum of the minimum balance of all the months is 49,340 rupees. This is the principal on which the interest should be calculated. The rate of interest is 5% per annum. The formula to calculate simple interest is P multiplied by T multiplied by R whole divided by 100. This is equal to 205 rupees and 58 paisa. Hence, the interest paid by the bank at that time of closing the account is 205 rupees and 58 paisa. Some important points to remember while calculating interest. If the total interest is less than 1 rupee, then it is taken as 0. If the minimum balance in a month from the 10th day to the last day is 500 rupees or less, then no interest is paid for that month. No interest is paid for the month in which the account is closed. In this module, you will learn about recurring deposit accounts. The different kinds of accounts in which money can be deposited in a bank are a savings bank account, a current bank account, a term or fixed deposit account, and a recurring or cumulative time deposit account. Savings bank account and recurring deposit account are the most popular services provided by the banks, especially among the salaried class. In a savings bank account, an account holder can deposit money at their own convenience. They can also withdraw money whenever they want. However, in a recurring deposit account or cumulative deposit account, an investor has to deposit a fixed amount of money every month for a fixed number of months. The money deposited is generally in multiples of 10, and the time period in months is a multiple of 6. The period of time after which the amount in a recurring deposit account is paid back to the depositor is called the maturity period. On maturity, the investor gets the amount deposited along with the interest due on the deposited amount. This total amount deposited and the interest together is called the maturity value of the recurring deposit which the depositor gets on maturity. This is called the maturity value of the recurring deposit. This scheme encourages a person to save money every month. The account holder can plan a big investment for the time when he gets the maturity value. Let us consider an example to understand how the interest on a recurring deposit account is calculated. Suppose Mr. Joshi opened a recurring deposit account on the 1st of June 2009. He deposited 100 rupees per month for 6 months. Let us calculate the interest that he gets on maturity if the rate of interest is 6% per annum payable on monthly basis. 100 rupees is deposited in the bank on the 1st of June, which remains with the bank for 6 months. Therefore, 100 rupees deposited for 6 months may be considered as 600 rupees deposited for a month. Again, Mr. Joshi deposited 100 rupees on the 1st of July, which remains with the bank for 5 months. Therefore, 100 rupees deposited for 5 months may be taken as 500 rupees deposited for 1 month. Similarly, 100 rupees is deposited on the 1st of August, which remains in the bank for 4 months. Therefore, 100 rupees deposited for 4 months may be taken as 400 rupees deposited for 1 month. Working on the same lines, we have the table shown here. Now, 100 rupees deposited for 6 months is equivalent to 2,100 rupees deposited for 1 month, for which the bank will pay interest at 6% per annum. Therefore, the principal is 2,100 rupees. The time period is 1 month, which is equivalent to 1 divided by 12 year. And the rate of interest is 6% per annum. By the formula for simple interest, interest is equal to P multiplied by T multiplied by R divided by 100. On substituting the values and simplifying, we get the interest as 10 rupees and 50 paisa. Hence, the amount payable on maturity is equal to 600 rupees deposited for 6 months and the interest. This is equal to 610 rupees and 50 paisa. This kind of calculation is very easy when the number of months is less. However, it will be very difficult when the number of months is 12 or more. For such situations, there is a formula to find the interest payable on a recurring deposit. If amount P is deposited for n months at the rate of R% per annum, then the formula to calculate the interest is as shown here. Using this formula, the interest on a recurring deposit account can be calculated very easily. Let us use this formula to calculate the interest that Mr. Joshi gets at the time of maturity on his deposits. Substituting the values of P, N, and R in the formula, we get the interest is 10 rupees and 50 paisa, which is the same as we got in the previous method.